I just purchased this car. As you can see, it looks pretty nice, at least from a distance. But we're going to go through and nitpick it. Check out everything that needs to be done. I've already got a list started. We're going to get to work on that. So first things first, as you can see, it has somewhat of an interior. And by that I mean 2 seats and a door card. It's down there, yep. The dash is very nice. It's got an aftermarket steering wheel. Looks like what I believe to be an original radio, FM, AM only, although it does have a power antenna. So yeah, that's the only power thing on this entire car. No 8-track for me, which is a bummer. It's powered by what I believe to be a 1157cc 4-cylinder inline motor, producing a whopping about 60 horsepower when it was new. So, motor is actually running. It's in pretty good shape. I don't think this car has a lot of miles on it. It's got twin SU carburetors. Previous owner, this car had been stored for about 35 years, based on its license plate. It had last been registered in August of '83. The previous owner got it running, swapped in a new battery, rebuilt the carbs. I think he probably did the timing, or the valve adjustment rather. Water pump maybe, or at least thermostat. New radiator hoses, it looks like. Radiator's in pretty good shape. Suspension is remarkable, honestly. I don't really see anything wrong with it other than some torn boots. Tires are ancient. They're actually marked in a format that makes me believe that they might be original to the car and thus, 50 years old, but I'm not sure. Knockoff wire wheels, I don't mean knockoff as in reproduction, I mean you literally knock that cap off with a dead blow hammer or a lead hammer. As you can see, there's some touches of red on the frame rails and on the hood. The car was originally red. It's been painted silver, and it's been painted silver very poorly. Probably the biggest damage I've found so far that's really going to be a problem is this repair to the hood. Back in the day, they would just run sheet metal screws into sheet metal and hammer those out with like a slide hammer or something, and then slap body filler over it and call it good. We don't do that today. It also doesn't really make sense because that's only really necessary if you can't reach the back with hammer and dolly, and I'm pretty sure you can reach that. It's right there. And the hood itself is in pretty good shape. Other than that, there's no apparent damage. Just some little sunbursts here and there. A huge run. I'm not sure if you can see that. Headlights, everything else is in good shape. Nothing works, but hey, what do you expect? The car is not currently safe to drive. It has no clutch and no brakes. I could probably bleed those systems and get it running, but I don't really want to. I'm going to replace everything. Possibly, it looks like I might not be able to get new calipers, so I'm going to rebuild those, or ship them out. It really doesn't make me too excited to rebuild something that my life depends on. Previous owner also put in a new ignition system. I don't think it's electronic ignition. I haven't looked through the receipts yet, but I assume it's points. There's also I believe he added this electronic fuel pump. I don't think that would have been a thing when the car was new, but I could be wrong. Yep. The injection system is in fact water cooled. I'm sorry, the intake system is indeed water cooled. Don't know why, but okay. Used battery. It's supposed to be about 2 years old. Yeah, it'll work for now. Battery isn't strapped down, so we're gonna buy the right hold downs. I could probably make them, but I'd rather just spend the few dollars to get new ones. Walking around here, we've got the roof. This car is basically just a tint. The fabric, from what I've been able to see, just stretches over this. And yeah, I think it clips into this rail right here. There's some snaps down here. It looks like I might be missing a few, but those shouldn't be hard to find. And it goes into back here. This whole top springs. So this is going to sound terrible, but if it works, you can kind of push this up and down. No, it's not working, but that's because I'm using one hand to hold the phone. It is a 4-speed. I don't believe it has an overdrive. If it does, it'll be a pleasant surprise, but I seriously doubt it. Car topped out at maybe about 80 or 90 miles per hour originally, so not very fast. Got a gas cap. You never have to remember which side of the car it's on because it's literally dead center. The previous owner went through and cleaned the tank out, I think, and cleaned the lines. But I'm probably going to end up pulling that tank out and either replacing it or resealing it at some point. So here's some of the damage that kind of gives you an idea that, yeah, this paint job sucked. Here it looks like they went back to bare metal. I mean, that's steel, and the camera's barely picking it up. There's just a lot of, obviously, no adhesion. Even here, you know, it is what it is. I have a welder. I'm looking forward to learning. Not very skilled yet, but I've got MIG and TIG capabilities with some serious practice. Taillights are phenomenal. They look amazing to me. Trunk lid is sort of off kilter. On this side, on the right, it's, you know, I can't fit my hand under there. But over here, you know, I can get a purchase. Obviously, it's also loose. In the trunk, we have a spare tire and a spare steering wheel. That's probably the original one. It's quite a bit larger than the one that's in the car right now, and I think it would be uncomfortable to drive it like that. I don't think we're going to be able to get much light in here, but I did find some Bondo body filler and screen back here. So somebody did reconstructive surgery on the rear fenders. That's not really a surprise in a car of this era. Patch panels aren't that expensive. It'll get figured out. The trunk floor is excellent. I don't see any damage back here at all, other than the Bondo that's in the fender wells. Coming down to the other side, pretty much the same thing. It's got some damage, some scuffs, some dents. Car is clearly going to need a complete paint job. That's not going to happen anytime soon, but it's going to happen. Back over here, so we've got steering wheel. There are no gauges in front of you, just in the center again. Shifter works. I've already lubricated a lot of stuff in this car, so most of the power or the mechanical things just work, as far as seat rails, e-brake, all that stuff. Back up here, the offending objects are the 2 master cylinders. We've got clutch and brake. I'm just going to replace both of those and not even screw with it. Got some mystery wiring down here. There's a fuse, some wires that have been taped. I don't know if that's original, how they loomed this from the factory or not. This is actually the starter solenoid. This is actually the starter solenoid. It's not connected to the starter. It's mechanically, at least. So it's basically, my understanding is it's a really big relay. Distributor, here's my one vacuum line, this silver line. This one right here comes across, runs to the dual carbs, and that's vacuum advance. That's literally it. Again, steering looks good, brakes look good. I'd probably like to replace those calipers, but I don't think they're available new, and I'm not sure I can find them rebuilt, so I may have to rebuild them myself. Firewall's in good shape. Obviously, it was red. I'm probably going to paint the whole under engine area like a silver or white, not necessarily with car paint or the same paint that I'm going to use for the car, but just something to make it look nice while I'm working on it. There is a small hole in the corner of the battery tray right here. You can't really see it, but not a big deal. Weld it up, go on another day. I have no idea if the transmission is good. I have no idea if the differential is good. The clutch pedal is completely gone, so it's completely impossible to test that. I have kind of something I like down here, in that these are a couple of amber fog lights that are wired up and they work. They're definitely not original, but they'll peek out of that grill when they're, the hood is closed. I like that idea. I just don't like, 1980 circa orange fog lights. Definitely want something period. It's had the hood struts replaced with these new ones. I'll show you the original in a little bit, but yeah, they're just, like you have on your SUV. The door latch, or the hood latches are, pretty straightforward. There's one on each side, just open and close. Obviously some more of that crap paint. Might be able to get a new hood for this, but they're not available new. I'd have to get another reproduction rather, or another original. Windshield's pretty nice. I've got a little bit of light scoring you can just barely make out, but my fingernail doesn't catch in it, so I'm hoping that some jeweler's rouge and a whole bunch of elbow grease or time with the polisher will take care of that. Let's see. This is the heater control valve. It controls the heater, obviously. Coil pack, I think he said that was new. Voltage regulator, because this is not on an alternator, it's on a generator, so it's got a external voltage regulator. There's the generator. I don't really have a problem with that until it fails, and if it fails, maybe I'll put an alternator on. So down here we've got some of that famous old British car wiring. I don't really know what's going on yet. I'm pretty sure that's not factory. Again, pretty good angle of the acne that they did to it, basically, with body filler. Hopefully I can beat that out, weld all those holes, grind it down, weld everything. We'll see. Headlights go with the hood. Overflow bottle for the coolant. We'll clean that up. Everything nice and polished and clean. Here's my massive 16-ounce coolant, windshield washer reservoir. That's not working right now, but we'll figure it out. I think I said already, but the wiper blades are trash. They are so flimsy. I don't even know if you can buy new arms for these. I don't know how this is going to work. It says right here, I just noticed that it says press to refill. So I guess I can replace the rubber only, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. Roof chrome, or windshield chrome is good. This car is, at this point, about 43 inches off the ground. The Ford GT40 was famous for being 40 inches tall. So this is slightly taller. But by the time you add on the tint, and by the tint I mean roof, it's fairly tall. The doors work. Pretty sure I can, Dukes of Hazzard into this anyway. Now we're going to start getting into some of the ugly stuff. What I wasn't expecting was for there to be wood in contact with rust. And if you can see down here, looks like 5 or 6 just hardware store bolts. And on the bottom side of those, there was plywood. So somebody did a stupid repair there. I mean, really wouldn't have been that much harder to use some sheet metal and rivets, and it would have lasted longer. Probably not been prone to corrosion, but yeah. You can see that the whole floor flexes. It looks like I can get front floor pans for this car, and they're not too bad, maybe $60 a side, plus shipping, I'm sure, which is going to suck. So I might cut those out and weld in new ones. The backs are fine. There's a few holes, but it's certainly solid. So this car is not really controlled like a modern car in that this is my turn signal. That's it. Over here somewhere is, oh, actually no, right here is headlights. I have no idea if that's original or not. It seems pretty iffy to me. And my high beams, if you can just see right there, that little thing, that's a foot switch. So that's high beams on, high beams off. So the turn signal stock articulates, but you can also just kind of shift it way down, shift it way up. So I need to tighten that. It's missing some trim here, but I actually have that in the parts that came with the truck or the car. Back here is kind of mystery item number one. There, focus. So you can see that little switch there, top of frame. That switch runs to this orange box. Looks like a relay, but doesn't act like one because it's only got 3 wires, maybe 4? Maybe 4. Nope, 3 wires. I don't know where that goes really, other than to this light switch, or light bulb rather. That's definitely, that was hooked up back there into a little socket right here, right there. And definitely, I don't know, it seems original based on the fact that those tabs are welded to the sheet metal, their original body color, but the wiring doesn't really give me optimism. So basically the only thing I've done to this car so far, and I've only had it for about 24 hours, is undo a bunch of the tape that was there. It's on the floor now. And try to figure out what was going on there. I've greased everything, that like seat rails, doors, windows, and taken off the wood underneath the floors. So on this side it's quite a bit more obvious how bad the rust is. On this side I might have to take this cross member out. I need to pick up a spot weld drill. I don't think it's very cheap to replace, so I'd like to save it, repair it. And up here there's some booger welds, definitely. Looks like stick to me, but I'm not an expert. They're bad. We've got really old speakers. And this is something kind of neat. If I can articulate this, there's a switch or lever right here, and that clicks forward and back. And I think that that is the defroster slash floor vent registers. So, you know, that directs air to the defroster or the floors. I don't know. Power antenna. There are glove boxes for this car that I don't have. They're press board. I might actually just make some new ones with some nice exotic wood or something. And there's kind of a knee bar. You can see it over here. I've got that piece. It needs to be recovered in vinyl and reinstalled. No big deal. We've got some more shifty wiring down here. I don't really think you should be able to see wiring. I suspect that's supposed to route some other way, but I could be wrong. We've got gauges. The only thing I really know that works is the tachometer. Since I've had the car running, the fuel is on empty. We checked that with a sounding rod, and there's basically none. So maybe that gauge works, maybe it doesn't. Speedometer, obviously, I'm not going to pick the car up and spin the tires in the garage, so we'll have to find that out. Temp gauge, I don't think works. Old British cars were wired by a company called Lucas. I don't know if they're still around, but they're pretty notorious for having wiring issues, and this car's 55 years old, basically. My awesome AM/FM radio, it works. Power antenna operates with these. Shifter there, it's nice, but I have a wood lathe, so I'm gonna make a nice shift knob for it out of something cool. Likewise, this trim panel, this kind of, I don't know what kind of shape that is, but trapezoidal, I guess. I'm gonna make a new panel for that out of some nice exotic wood too. I've got a ashtray, which will never get used, except maybe to throw, I don't know, whatever in. There's the fuse panel cover. See, Lucas. The fuses are actually down underneath the driver's seat. which is totally convenient and not a pain in any way, shape, or form, especially when the glove box is in. But fortunately, there's only 3 or 4 of them, so, you know, not a big deal. The seats are actually pretty comfortable. I'm gonna paint the car silver, I think, and I would really like to go with a red interior. I've always liked that, so at some point I'll probably try to send these off to a swap meet and buy some red ones, but I'm gonna do red carpet and red door cards and stuff, I think. Haven't really figured that out yet. Notice that it does not have door mirrors. In my state, I need to have one on the left side, so I'm gonna have to find something old and cool and put it there. I don't know. Theoretically, I don't think I can do fender mirrors, but we'll see. I need to read into that. Let's see, what else do we have? The shifter, that's gonna be, there's actually a bushing in the shifter, so I'm gonna swap that out. One of the first jobs is to check all the fluids, and to check the transmission fluid I need to pull out, I think, just this cover right here. Maybe some of this, I don't know. I might as well do the shifter linkage while I'm in there, because I might as well change the fluids. You know, it's just kind of silly not to. The car's been sitting since, I don't know, Reagan. Not even sure. My windows work flawlessly after just a little grease. On my other car, which we'll show at some point, I spent weeks rebuilding power window regulators. On this one, I spent a few seconds with some lithium grease, and they look fine. The other door card is still in place. Getting the door card off, I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I don't know how to get the door handle or the windshield window arm removed, so we'll have to figure that out. Back behind me, we've got a really large cargo section, big enough for, like, I don't know, a quarter of a suitcase on each side. The floor back here is pretty good. I've got the seats all the way back right now, and that actually, I'm not very tall, but that gives me enough room that I can't really put brakes and clutch all the way to the floor. So, even though this car is absolutely tiny, it's not bad. There's the giant hood. I think that probably makes up about 30 or 40% of the bodywork on the car. It's just the hood. What else? So we've got, I think that this knob is a choke as it pulls out. Definitely needs to be greased. I think this guy doesn't really do anything, but pretty sure it's the heater. Not really sure what that guy does. I think I feel like this guy might wash the windshield, and this one wipes the windshield. I feel like this might be the original headlight switch. Gonna have to get in there. Focus, thank you. How that indicates headlights or whatever, I have no idea. The car is showing that it has 47,000 miles, which, you know, I don't know. Based on the suspension, it's in good shape, and that's something that I'll wear. But this car weighs so little that I don't know. The car only weighs 1,500 pounds. Less right now because there's no interior in it. You know, other than, well, yeah, my weight. Tachometer goes to 6,000, which I think would be insane. I think that, yeah, down here is what I believe to be the reset for the trip odometer, which is just plain weird. Focus. Yeah, it's the one right here. I don't know, because it's showing 0, and I'm not going to be driving it for a few weeks. Horn works. Don't want to bother my neighbors, but found that out by mistake last night. Let's see. So, to do is basically to get it safe and drivable, which is tires, brakes, clutch. I'm not sure if I'm going to replace the actual clutch, but apparently it's pretty easy to do in this car because the entire transmission tunnel comes out. So you can actually swap the transmission with the car, with the engine in place. And even if it didn't, the engine weighs maybe 200 or 300 pounds. So cherry picker would be nice, but probably not even strictly necessary if you got two strong backs. I think that's about it. Basically get brakes, tires, clutch, lights. Definitely need all the lights so I don't, get pulled over, and then go get the inspection for the VIN and get it registered. And the main thing is to get it safe and drivable and putter around town. I'm going to put a top on it pretty quick because it'd be nice to put it outside, but it's going to leak, so I'm also going to put a cheap cover on it. I'll be working on the floors. That's going to be pretty critical before I can put any interior in it. Might as well just get that all done. Lots of cleaning. It's not bad, but I think I said it before, but this car sat indoors in a warehouse probably since 1983, 1984. That's when it was last registered. So it was used, I think, as possibly, it was either a collection or kind of an unfinished collection, or a mule test bed for fitting parts. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, the doors kind of do some weird stuff if I open them more than about there. There's definitely some weather stripping I'm missing in the doors. Yeah, that's loud. We're gonna put some soundproofing in it. Nothing crazy. I don't want to make this car weigh 2,000 pounds, and it should weigh 1,500. But yeah, stay tuned.